there's nothing else to do. Oh, it's in color. Your hair is brown.
This is Bernadette. She's an anime fanatic who's been watching anime from the age of 16.
I first got into anime in 2009. I actually remember it very vividly as we were at school at lunchtime, and one of my friends was sitting up against a wall and reading volume 3 of Bleach. And I remember exactly what volume it was because it's the one with Orihime on the front, and I was like, "Ooh, she's really pretty. What is it?" And she then explained to me about manga and then anime and told me, "Oh, you should watch the anime of it." And then another friend came over and she was like, "Oh, you should watch this too, and like it'll be really good." And now I'm far more obsessed than they are. It just took over my life. I got into cosplay at the same time that I actually got into manga and anime, because as soon as I got into it I was like, I love everything about it. And when I was looking things up related to series, I found out about cosplay and I was like, I must do this is amazing. So my first cosplay was actually Tamari from Naruto, and I wore that to May MCM Expo 2009, and it just snowballed from there. The Cheryl costume is one of my most it's one of my most prized costumes. I'm so proud of it. It was so much fun to make, and it looked beautiful, and it looked absolutely stunning on Just Peachy, who was my friend who I was cosplaying with at the time. And I'm so glad that I got to do it, even though it wasn't for me.
I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to
Often associated with the term cartoons, anime is Japanese animation with characters that are hard to forget due to their colourful hair, big eyes, and exaggerated emotional expressions. For decades, anime was produced mainly for Japanese audiences, and over 40 years later, it's become an international phenomenon. Generations of Western viewers are growing up watching anime and even passing it on to their children. So what is it about anime that attracts so many people?
You cosplay and something, you meet the other people who are dressed as the same thing. It gives you a reason to go, oh my god, you're dressed as this person.
I'm not mad, I don't want to be like my character, but you know, it's fun just to be him for just one day, like to act like him and speak like him, and it's really funny.
Best things about anime is how detailed some cosplayers are putting their time and effort into looking identical to the anime people they're trying to copy.
Whenever I was young, I was really into books, and I really liked this anime cartoon thing, and then I bought the books thinking they were books, but they were actually manga.
Well, it's up to him really. We wouldn't want to judge him the same way we would judge for cosplaying. So
as long as he finds something to like, we don't mind
we'd be
what
hypocrites.
it is. Just make sure he's happy.
I literally just come along with my sister. I just like it. I like how you can just everyone can be free and open, and you can just be yourself, can't you? And just not really worry about what other people think.
Most anime is derived from Japanese comic books called manga. In 1914, manga artists started experimenting with animated motion pictures, and soon after, in 1918, an animated short film, Momotaro, gained worldwide success. After the explosion of anime in the 1980s, production companies such as Studio Ghibli and Gainax started emerging, bringing many viewers to their television screens with their beautifully foretold stories through films such as Future Boy Conan, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Princess Mononoke, My Neighbor Totoro, and many more. This all resulted in the launch of MCM London Comic Con in 2002.
We get about 130,000 people. It runs for 3 days, 3.5. And really, it's just a great occasion for just people who are fans just to get together and hang out. Again, I don't want to just seem like I'm plugging MCMs, but as a barometer of, I'm sure everyone's finding this, it's just skyrocketed. I think it's the old thing that the geeks, it turns out, have inherited the earth, you know. It's like when I was a kid, if you like, well, obviously anime or comic books, that's a bit weird. And now it's a comic book blockbuster movie. Well, of course it is. I got into anime before I knew it was anime, because when I was a kid, you get cartoons and you watch any cartoons you could that were cool, and it turned out that some of them were Japanese, but I didn't realise that then, so I only realised years later. After university, I wanted to be a journalist of some sort, because I guess I don't like the idea of proper work, and I got a job on a health and safety magazine, which is exactly as interesting as it sounds. And fortunately from that, I went off and joined a film mag, and by various random ways, none of which involve planning, I've ended up writing about anime, which I really love watching. So,
First started cosplay, I did buy my first few costumes. Tamari was a bought costume, except my dad then helped me make her giant fan prop. But from there, I always tried to make them, or my mum would make them and I would like help with little bits, because that happened quite a few times. It was only from 2011 that I really made my first costume all by myself, and I was so proud. And that was when I really started to actually like take care in everything that I do cosplay wise. So that was when I started using makeup. I did wigs properly. I did everything to the best that I could, and even then I've like grown from there, and I'm really proud of myself with how far I've come. My parents love cosplay and they always want to get involved, so like my dad will always try to get involved with props, or if I need like, because I've got an embroidery machine and a 3D printer, like if I ever need anything like that, like he'll be like, oh, do you want to do this on the 3D printer? And I'll be like, no, it's okay, because I can do this way, which will be a lot quicker, but there's something that I want to do here for it. So my dad's always there to help with the prop side, and my mum taught me to sew when I was really little. Well, I say taught, it was more, make this, and then I made it, and she was like, if you do this, it'll make it better, and that was how I learn't. So she's very accepting of it. Much past that, I don't really know what my family think. Generally, if I'm watching a new series or anything like that, and I'm really hyped about it, and I'm really excited, and I see this character that I love, and I'm like, I'm gonna cosplay her, and that's just it. It's what always happens. I'll find something, I'll see something, and I'm like, I want to cosplay her, but I want to cosplay her. I'll just do them both. And that's basically how I decide what costumes I'm going to do. And then sometimes, obviously, I can't do every costume that I want to cosplay because I don't have the time or the money to do that. So it depends, like, sometimes I'll have groups with friends and things like that, and we'll all collaborate and do from one series. So that's always really good fun. I don't tend to be intimidated by people, like when they approach me when I'm in cosplay, or when they give me stares and things like that, and I don't tend to let it bother me, because I feel when I'm in cosplay I become a different person. I become a lot more confident within myself and who I am, and it's just a wonderful feeling. So it's a lot easier to ignore the world around you when you're in cosplay, because you're just like, look at me, I'm fabulous. I can see myself doing cosplay for quite a few years to come, because there's always characters that can be done, and it will be my dream to one day cosplay an anime mum with the hair at the side and looking all meek and sort of like, I'm sick, because that's what all anime mums are, and it would just be really funny when I am a mum myself, and then I do that, it would just be brilliant. I met my boyfriend through anime conventions. He doesn't actually remember the first time we met, because he was very drunk at a party at Kitticon, and I was dressed as a bunny girl, and we were dancing together, and he was dressed as Johnny Bravo, and he doesn't remember a thing. But I remembered when we were then introduced at the next big convention in the UK, Amicon, when a friend then properly introduced us, and I was like, I know who you are, but you don't know who I am. But we hit it off really well straight away, and we've been going for over 3 years now. I think that at the moment, cosplay and anime are becoming a lot more mainstream than they've ever been, because it can only grow and get better from this point on. So I don't think it's dying out anytime soon.
The world of anime cannot be described or defined, as it branches into so many categories. Whether it be manga anime series themselves or cosplay, it is accessible to anyone and everyone, and the only way into the secret is for you to experience it yourself.